What is that like to have given up 31 months of your life or something so gross?
Well, Joe, 31 months of your life when you're 71 years old, which very, very easily could have been a life sentence.
Yeah.
Uh, it was rough. I mean, I left my wife at the time. We've been married. This is our 48th year of marriage, but I left her to say goodbye, and I walked into a federal prison, and I was like,
And you didn't know if you were ever getting out.
I didn't know I was ever getting out because, again, my age.
Right. Also, it's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous, and I was in this is another misnomer, Joe. And this is one of the biggest misnomers there is, and this is the reason I love you and I love your show, because you get a chance here to tell your story. We're not in sound bites, and we're not, it's not some BS orchestrated story out there. The I went to Pensacola Prison, but they also had a program there. It's called RDAP. It's alcohol. If you've had issues with alcohol in the past and you qualify for this program, you go through it, you get a year from your sentence. So I thought I could possibly qualify for that. Well, I go there, and there had been a story written about this prison like in 2008, and I think it was written by either Barbara Walters or someone like Barbara. And they described this prison as like a country club. And it had swimming pools, and the people could play golf. And anyway, well, I'm going to tell you the place that I went to, okay? I don't know what it was like in 2008, but I can tell you what it was like in 2017 on October the 10th when I walked in there. I was in a dorm. I was in a building that was built in 1960. And this building, this is where naval airmen used to be housed. I was in a room 18 by 22 with 9 other prisoners on bunk beds. They had black mold all over the walls. There was no heat whatsoever in this building. I'm in Pensacola, Florida. I'm not in Miami. I'm in a concrete block building. It's got chillers that run 24/7. So in the winter there, I mean, you can't imagine how cold you would get in there. There's 200 men on this floor. We had restroom on each side of the entrance. But you got 10 men in an 18 by 22 room, and you got black mold all over the walls, and you got no heat. The food in this place was just horrible. There were prisoners who came down who'd been in multiple levels of federal prisons. Every one of them said it was the worst food they'd ever seen in any place. Medical care there was it was pitiful. One of the doctors, his nickname was Dr. Death. I mean, there was a guy there that they diagnosed with not hemorrhoids. I think hemorrhoids, and he died of colon cancer. I could tell you another story. It's funny, but it's not funny, to give you an idea how bad the medical care was. There was a guy went in who he had a place on his face. They told him come back. They were going to take it off. It's like in February. Guy goes back in. This Dr. Death he takes a big thing off the other side of his face, the wrong side. He gets up, and the guy, he wishes him Merry Christmas on the way out. Now, we're in the middle of February. The guy put a big hole in the complete wrong side of his face, left the other face. That was one of the doctors that was there. So I got the flu when I first went in there, and I'm really sick. I mean, really, really sick. And I got so sick I've been in bed like 3-4 days. Well, I went down immediately to try to get something for the flu. They told me to drink more water and to take aspirin, and I could get the aspirin out of the commissary. 2 days later, I go down. I'm starting to have problems with my lungs. I got chewed out for coming back down again. They gave me nothing. Luckily for me, there were some guys that were inside the prison that gave me some things that could help me. If it hadn't been for that, I'm not sure. I don't know what the outcome of that would have been. It could have been bad because I was bedridden for 6-7 days. And I saw that on multiple occasions. So the good thing about the place was there were no bars. You could walk around it, at certain times with total freedom. There was a track. They had a place you could do weights. The visitation there was great until COVID came along. And so you had plenty of opportunities to have visits. There weren't bars. You had a track. That was all good. And but I can tell you, the medical care there, the food, and the conditions themselves were horrible. I mean, they were horrible. And the people who came down from low and medium security prisons, they said they were much better in the prisons they came from than they were there. Those conditions were. So that's the reason, along with the fact, when I got out, I had to do something about this. But that's a story that isn't being told. It's like I saw some guy the other day got sentenced to Pensacola, and I saw the story that some lazy journalist just rewrote something they read that somebody else put in there 2 or 3 or 4 years ago that isn't accurate. And they describe this place as being some kind of country club. You think it's a country club, partner, you go down there and check in. And you go over there and get you some of those boots that you're forced to wear that are seconds that are made in China. I got a pair of boots when I got there. The second day, I had lost a toenail. Luckily for me, at the time, there was a doctor there, and I went and saw this doctor, and he gave me some shoes that had softer soles. From what I understand, they've eliminated those today. You have to wear the boots that they give you there now. They're steel-toed boots, and they're not even good ones. Like I say, the majority of them don't even fit the people. How do I know that? I worked in the laundry myself, and I was the one over there issuing that stuff. And then I went to the head of the place, and I said, "Look, these things are horrible. People are coming back; their feet are bleeding, and everything else." Finally, they changed them out, and they got some that did fit better. But I mean, it just anyway, it is what it is. But look, prison isn't supposed to be. It's supposed to be a punishment to a certain degree, and it's supposed to be a detriment. And there's no question about that. And you're not supposed to go to some country club, but you should be able to go to some place where you don't have to sleep next to black mold. And if you do have a medical issue, and you truly do have the flu, and it's diagnosed by the flu by them, that you get something to treat the flu.